I think what I'd probably do is just simply, take, even if it's a television show off the air that you grab, and grab a scene from it, get it into your system somehow. Call me because I can't quite describe. I know how mine is going into the system, but if other systems aren't necessarily AV, visually compatible in terms of getting it sunk up, we can talk about that. But the idea is just take, even a minute commercial, even though commercials are not my forte. I would suggest taking, an action thing, something like a 24, like I mentioned Alias earlier, and take a 5-minute scene from that, and literally now what you're obviously, if there's music in that scene, you're going to have an issue because you don't have it split out. You're unable to lower the music that's in there. You're just stuck with a mixed track. And if you don't have someone that can offer you a video, that's cool. Just pull down that audio, and just work with it, and do just start is I think is all I can say, is just literally start. Turn it on and find your sync point. If you're not even sunk to video, I can remember how I first started before I had synchronization, is to simply find a place in your. Let me go back to where there is some video. Find a place.
Oh, sounds great. All right. Good. Well, thank you very much.
For Cold Case Detectives, one case is closed. Many more remain.
Okay. Now I didn't record that, but I basically just started.
Sounds great. All right. Good. Well, thank you very much.
After thank you very much, and at that scene change. And so if you don't have synchronization, that's okay. Just use your play button on your VCR, whatever you're using, DVD, and when you get to that scene, use that as if you're in sync. Use that as your starting point, and start each time your sequencer at that moment. Even if you don't start playing at that moment, start your sequencer at the exact spot. Thank you very much, he said. Thank you very much. Boom. And then wait till your moment comes up and begin and start working. And then rewind it, take back, thank you very much. When that same scene point, just hit it, and you're going to come back in, even if you're not sunk. Did that make sense, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because that's exactly how I hadn't thought about that, but that's exactly how I used to do it before. Now, the drag, of course, is you can't start somewhere in the middle of the scene, right? Because you can't find your sync. But, if you don't have synchronization, it's a great way. Just literally take a cue from a word that's being said up there. Thank you very much. Click. Start your sequencer and go into record any time. It doesn't matter. Just so you've started your sequencer at that cue, that word cue.
Do you think that works well as a sort of a demo for someone who needs those services, and you can present that as a beginner and say, I haven't done anything yet, but here's what I can do?
Absolutely, I do. And I mean, for example, I think even GarageBand would be a great way. You could use GarageBand and do just that. Believe me, I wish GarageBand would sync to video, because I sit at home 1 in the morning. I used to have Pro Tools at home, and it just using a laptop, and it was overwhelming my laptop. It just couldn't handle it. So. But GarageBand, I can sit there, play with the loops on there, and use this same method that I'm speaking of. Just use GarageBand. Just start it at a certain point in the video each time, and then begin your process. A little more painstaking, because you can't just rewind a little and fix a little something, but at least it can get you to. It can satisfy your own curiosity as far as, and give you the confidence of, hey, I like what I just did, that kind of thing. And so many people just don't get the opportunity to put it to picture, So by whatever means it takes, if you just get your first thoughts to picture and then analyze it, and I think it may inspire you. I know it did for me. The first thing I did for Bill was this thing on the eagle, bald eagle, and it was ba-da-da-da-da-dum bum. I still remember the melody. That's how big it was to me to have done that. So if someone kicks it off, they get a nice melody, and it works. You see the eagles soar to that melody. Well, that's what sold me. And so I hope that anyone out there can have the opportunity of a little hook, a little thing, and having it really work to the point where, yeah, that picture wouldn't be the same without it. you know. Think of it that way, that you're really going to miss that picture. You're going to miss that mood if you take away that music, you know. It's a good judge as to if it's working.
Thanks very much. We've been talking with Dave Huizenga from Kurtis Productions. I'm Joe Wallace for Gearwire.com.